we are, back to Monday. Okay, so it looks like the audio is working. It doesn't look like anybody's logged on. If you log on, I'll wait till somebody does log on. Okay, so all of you who who are, oh, there. Now I have 4 people all of a sudden, one from 0 to 4. So welcome everyone who is joining me this morning. I suspect Lisa, Jason, and Matt are out there, and then we have one mystery guest. So welcome, mystery guest. Also Susanna, good to have you. So yeah, I don't know about everybody else. I can only speak to my own experience, as that is the case for everybody. We all have different perspectives, and we all have different thoughts in our heads when we come to our mats. We all have different experiences of our bodies. I know for me that I've been scrolling a lot, I've been reading a lot this past week. My mind is very focused on the Black Lives Matter movement, and I notice my own propensity for guilt and shame around like my feelings of things that I might have done or said in the past, or the things that I could be doing now that I'm not doing. It is really, I would like to go to protests, but I fear the coronavirus, and I fear, honestly, I fear just going alone because I don't want to take my kids. So yeah, and I was thinking about that in the context of yoga, and how I don't really think that shame and guilt are very productive emotions. And I've had a lot of thinking around that in my life, because I think that I do have a lot of propensity for those things. And I'm sorry if I'm talking so much about myself. I hope that my honest experience is relatable to you. But so if this is, I think it is relatable, because I see a lot of people come to yoga class who haven't been in a while, and the immediate reaction is like, oh, I'm sorry, I haven't come to class, like, I feel bad, I feel ashamed that I haven't been to my mat, I haven't been practicing. And my reaction to that is like, I'm just glad you're here. Sure, I might have missed you, I might have wondered about you, but I wasn't mad or felt like you were a bad person for not coming to yoga. And so it's kind of this idea that shame is something we put on ourselves, and it's this burden and this weight that can kind of make us feel mired in our feeling bad, and keep us from moving into the future, keep us from changing the things that we see need change. So that's something that I've been thinking about a lot. And I am going to continue to think about in my practice. I also just I wanted to briefly relay that this is certainly something that I see in my children, and it's when you see it in somebody else that you care about, it really makes you realize how what a kind of a disease that shame is. So I've seen this in one of my children where there's conflict, she's asked to go to her room or asked to take time to think about her actions, and the immediate reaction is, I'm bad, I'm terrible, this is all my fault. And it's like, it's a physical closing in on herself, and it kind of stays there, and it's not necessarily a reflective. It's not necessarily a reflection. It's kind of a self-brutalizing that doesn't help move along the conflict, doesn't help get to a space where we can all be harmonious. So anyway, that's what I've been thinking about. That's where I'm going to practice from today. One thing that I'm going to do today, and I'm going to stick to it, is I'm going to start with the left side. And that's something I've tried to do before, and I know that when I've tried to do it, I just, I stop about halfway through. I'm like, oh wait, this is too hard. It's too hard to look at my non-dominant side and do things in a different way. So I'm going to challenge myself to stick with it. Even if I make a mistake and do the right side first, I'm going to correct it. I'm going to have us start again and do the left side first. So yeah, let's start. So light a candle, as I have done. If you have one handy, get yourself comfortable. Establish the space that you are going to dedicate to your yoga practice today. So find a comfortable seated position. I am going to record the audio for this, so give me a second to do that. So again, come to this comfortable cross-legged seated position. Cross your legs at the ankles. Close your eyes. Arrive in this moment. And let's first focus on our physical selves settling into the earth. Feel those connections between your body and the surfaces beneath you. Visualize those roots growing from your body into the earth. Establish the energetic connection between your body and the earth. And then rise up from that connection. Grow tall along your spine. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, lengthening the sides of the body. And loop your shoulder blades together behind your heart. Expand and open your chest. Let the weight of your forearms melt down, bringing the shoulder blades down the back side of your chest. Tilt your chin parallel to the floor. Ease the sides of your neck back to lengthen along the back of the neck and lift through the crown of your head. You might bring a fingertip or two to your upper abdomen. Create a tone there by drawing your left and right front lower ribs into center. And then easing that point towards your spine. Welcome back to your body. So if you have established a home practice, then this might be just a feeling of returning home. You come to this space, you come to this time, you come to your body, and there's a familiarity with this space. A feeling of expansion, a feeling of support. If your eyes are not closed, close them now. If you are not already, begin to breathe in and out through your nostrils. Begin Ujjayi Pranayama, drawing in a gentle contraction at the back of your throat. Listen for the sound of your breath. Let that sound bring you back into the body, into the present. And now today, upon arrival, I want to do something a little different and give you time and space to notice what you're feeling and what you're thinking. So I primarily put the focus on the body at this time. So let's use what we've already established, use this powerful shape to give us a safe space to reflect on where we are emotionally and mentally in this moment. Consider if your thoughts are already deep into the practice. I know one thing that I'm doing when I am going to a yoga class or attending a led class is there's a lot of judgment happening with what is happening in the class and where the class might be going. Let's take this time for reflective thought. So if you are like me, you've really been inundating yourself with a lot of information, especially information coming from various screens. So we might consider what we are thinking. Is there an emotional reaction to our thoughts? Is there a physical reaction to what we're thinking? So all of these systems of the body, interconnected, relating to one another, influencing one another. And as I referenced last week, that idea that our bodies are a microcosm of the larger humankind, the larger communities that we are in. And all of those different pieces, all of those different components, constantly connected, constantly interacting, constantly influencing one another. So I'm thinking that, if we are all in this interconnectivity, a part of this larger community, and we focus on energy in yoga, this idea of prana, vital energy moving through us, and consider it that we are conduits of this energy. For me, feelings of shame, feelings of guilt, are kind of loopholes where we start to loop this energy back into ourselves and kind of take ourselves out of the larger system. Let's breathe 3 rounds of breath together. Exhale, empty the lungs. And inhale, slowly, deeply, completely fill the lungs at the top. And slowly exhale, emptying from top to bottom. Inhale slowly. Exhale completely. exhale. Bring your palms together in front of your heart, and we will chant Om 3 times. Exhale your breath, and inhale for Om. Bow your head to your heart, release your palms to your thighs. Slowly lift your head as you open your eyes. Okay, let's switch the cross of our legs. And as promised, we're gonna start with the left hand side first. Take the left hand behind the hip, right hand crosses to the left thigh. Inhale, grow tall, and exhale, begin to revolve. Stay rooted through the legs and the hips as you grow tall along the spine, revolving around the central channel. Abdomen shifts from right to left, ribs, chest, shoulders, neck, eventually gaze, keeping your chin parallel to the floor. Hug the left shoulder blade onto the back of the chest and arrive with your body, with your breath in this shape. Keep your right hand as it is. Left arm reaches along the left ear. Lift up out of your left waistline through the fingertips. And exhale, let the upper body lean at an angle to the right, keeping the left hip tacked down. So we did this last week. Let's take the pressure out of the right hand and try to use the abdomen to revolve the abdomen, revolve the ribs, revolve the chest from right to left. And you may find that you are not in the same deep expression of this shape that you are used to when you use the right hand. So consider that doing things a new way, doing things maybe an uncomfortable way, might lead to different results. And one thing that I really come back to in yoga is this idea of detachment from outcome. So be in the experience rather than being attached to what this needs to look like. Look up beyond the left forearm or left underarm. Breathe along the left side. Release unnecessary tension in the face, around the edges of the lips, in the jaw. And then we'll inhale to come back to center, hand down. Right hand behind, left hand crosses to the right thigh. Inhale, grow tall, and exhale, revolve. So again, here you can take the left hand out of the equation a little bit and try to use the strength of the abdomen to revolve around the spine. Keeping the left hip tacked down, legs rooted, crown of the head lifting, shin parallel to the floor. Right shoulder on the back, collarbones broad. And again, connect with the breath to come back to the present. Okay, take the left palm to the ceiling. Right arm along the right ear, lift up out of the right waistline, and exhale, lean the upper body at an angle to the left. So again, use the abdomen to shift the left ribs forward, to revolve the right ribs back. And again, you may not have as deep of an expression in this shape as you would if you were using the left hand to pull the left shoulder forward. Sit with that. Right hip grounds, right fingertips reach, breathe along your right side. So when we think we know our practice, when we think we know how the poses should feel, we might be losing some of the connection. We might be losing some of the possibilities of what could be revealed. Inhale, come back to center, unwind, switch the cross of your legs, and walk the hands forward. Keep the hips grounded, fold forward. So I came to my practice yesterday. I came to my mat, and I don't typically, when I practice anymore on my own, I don't come with an agenda. Often I let my body lead the way, and I notice this deep desire for introspection in my practice. So child's pose, forward folds. So consider that each pose kind of has a personality, or resonates a certain type of energy. Reflect on your back body. Notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling. Go to that discomfort. Use your breath, use your intention to move prana, move energy through those spaces. Then let's push back into a seated position, and let's start moving a little more quickly now. Come to a tabletop shape. Wrists below the shoulders, spread your fingers, knees are hip width, and inhale, belly and chest down, tailbone and gaze lift into your cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest, tailbone towards the floor, belly button towards the ceiling, and back to cow. Move with your breath. That's my new joke. Move with your breath into cow, and exhale into cat. So take a look at your spine. Move slowly, reacquainting yourself with these shapes. And again, this recognition that your practice is going to be different every time you come to the mat. That's one thing I really appreciated when I would go to the Fuel yoga practice, when they did the Bikram sequence. As much as I don't appreciate a lot of that system, I did really appreciate that you could do the same practice. I could go to the same class, and it would be so different every time I went. And that was really a revelation to me that I am constantly changing. We are all constantly changing, and so we come back to the practice, we come back to these familiar poses and see that the familiar is always changing, always expanding, always offering insight. So show up, be interested. Come back to tabletop position. Extend the right leg straight up and back for a three-legged table. Hips and shoulders at an even height. Left arm reaches forward, look forward. That groundedness, that awareness of the past, of the right leg reaching back. Oh, I did it again. So we're going to switch, and we're going to do the left leg back first, right arm forward. So as I said, hard to make changes. Please bear with me. It's hard to do things in a new way, but let's not give up on that. I know I've tried to do left leg first, left arm first in classes before, and I really did give up about 10 minutes in. Okay, left leg back, right arm reaches forward. Rooted in the past, reaching to the future, stable, center, strength at the core, strength in the present moment. Okay, hand down, knee down. Now the second side, right leg extends back, left arm reaches forward. Hips at an even height, shoulders at an even height. Push back into what's behind you. Reach to what's ahead of you and find that stability, that centering, that presence at your center, in the moment. And hand down, knee down. Right hand below the face, left hand to the back of the skull. Inhale, open the chest towards the left, look up, reach up. Exhale and curl in. Inhale, open left. Exhale, curl in 2. Inhale, open left 3. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, open left 4. Exhale, curl in. Last one, inhale, open up 5. And exhale, curl in. Left hand below the face, right hand to the back of the skull. Inhale, open up. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, open up. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, open. Exhale, curl. 2 more. Inhale, open right. Exhale, curl in. Last one. Inhale, open right. And back to center. Shoulders over the wrists, spread the fingers, reach the legs back, plank position. Shoulders, hips to heels, one line. If the hips are sagging down, bring the knees to the floor. Create better alignment, better strength at your center if the knees need to be down. Okay, come to the outside of the left foot. Inhale, right arm lifts, side plank. Breathe here. Shift weight out of your left wrist into the knuckles of the fingers, into the fingerprints. Lift into your hips. So again, modification would be to bring the right foot forward for support. Extend through the crown of your head, broaden across your chest, soften the edges of the mouth, and then look down, hand down, back to plank, second side, outside the right foot, inside the left foot, sweep the left arm up, shift weight out of the wrist, down into the knuckles, lift into the hips, broaden across the chest, extend through the crown of the head, push through the heels, soften the edges of the mouth, keep breathing, keep arriving, keep connecting. And then hand back to plank. First side again, outside the left foot, inside the right foot, sweep the arm up. Foot can come in front for support or stack the feet. Broaden across the chest, lift into the outer hips. Ground through the knuckles. Extend out through the 5 fingertips of the right hand. Gaze goes up, soften the edges of the mouth, and then back to center. Second side, again, outside of the right foot, inside the left foot for support or stack the feet. Lift into the hips, lengthen through the heels, reach through the crown of the head, broaden across the chest, shift weight out of the wrist into the knuckles. Keep breathing. Notice if you're not. Make an effort to continue to breathe. And then hand down, feet down, plank position. And then shift the shoulders forward of the wrists slightly. Keep the legs engaged. Look forward and exhale. Lower down with control to a chaturanga position, like the bottom of a push-up. And now we're going to roll over the feet, push the hands down and pull them back, collarbones broad, heart lifted, kneecaps lifted, lengthen through the tailbone. And then we're going to roll back over the toes, lift the hips, come down chaturanga, push up into plank, exhale back, downward facing dog. Whew, that was hard. Let's do it again. Okay, so now we all know what's happening. So we're going to push the hips up and back, come forward to plank, chin forward, shoulders forward, so coming forward on the toes, lower down like the bottom of a push-up, elbows in, shoulders on the back, collarbones broad, roll forward on the feet, push the hands down and forward, engage the legs so the knees are lifted away from the floor. Collarbones broad, sides of the neck back. Then roll over the toes, push the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So what if that is how we do our push-ups today? What do you guys think? Oh, everybody likes that idea? Thank you for the feedback. I'm glad you guys all are into this idea. Okay, inhale forward, exhale lower, inhale curl up, upward facing dog. Roll over the toes, lower the chest down, elbows in, shoulders back, push up, lift through the sides of the waistline, exhale, hips go up and back. So if you did not in fact say you liked this or wanted to do this or felt comfortable doing this, you can opt for just the push-up. You can opt for a flow from knees, chest, chin to cobra pose, and then back to down dog. Okay, that was 3. Let's do 2 more. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale chaturanga, bottom of a push-up. Inhale curl up, shoulders back. Exhale over the toes, back to the low push-up. Push up as you inhale. Exhale, hips go back. Inhale forward. Exhale low. Inhale curl up. Exhale low, lift through the sides of the waistline. Push up. Exhale back, downward facing dog, and luxuriate in your dog. Push the hands down and forward, shift the hips up and back. Maybe you walk your dog, bend one knee, reach the opposite heel towards or to the floor, shift the hips from side to side. Even pressure of the hands down and forward. And let's get off of those hands. Okay, left leg lifts straight up and back. 3-legged dog, look to the top of your mat and exhale, lunge your left foot forward between your hands. If you have blocks, you may like to use them underneath your hands. I suggest it as a change of pace if it's not what you normally do. So even if you are somebody who's like, I don't need the blocks, maybe, again, I'm speaking of my own experience here. If you are somebody who thinks, I don't need the blocks, doesn't mean the blocks cannot offer something new, offer a new perspective on something that you might have, created this preconceived conception of, preconceived notion. Okay, scissor the legs together. Melt the hips down and forward, left thigh parallel to the floor, lift through the back inner upper thigh, collarbones broad. Find your low lunge. And today we're going to send the hips back, point the, ground the left big toe, lift into the left kneecap, straighten the left leg, wrap the right outer hip forward, possibly walking the hands back with or without the blocks as you fold, as you round the spine over the left leg. So in this version, this modified pyramid pose, the back heel is lifted. And as I said back heel, I noticed that back leg was a little bit, gotta say, flaccid. So strengthen the left leg, the right leg, lift into the right kneecap, Janu Bandha, both legs. And then inhale, come forward to your lunge, possibly moving the blocks. Exhale, shift back. So move through these 2 shapes with your breath. Similar to cat and cow in that as we inhale, or actually the breath is the opposite, but as we come forward, the chest opens. As we exhale, the belly button in towards the chest. Wait. Is it opposite? Sorry. All this left going first really got me occupying all of my thoughts. So move with your breath forward and back. And with your next inhale, come to the lunge. Place your right hand on the floor or a block. Without placing your left hand on your left thigh, let's bring the hand to the hip today. Scissor the legs in, square the hips and chest forward. Keep the hips and legs as they are as you begin to revolve your right ribs towards your left inner thigh. Try to stack the shoulders. So again, how does this feel without the pressure of your left hand into your thigh? So I know I want to do it because I'm like, I know I can go deeper here. I need to go deeper here because I can. Well, look at what this offers. Look at the access to your abdomen, the strengthening your abdomen here without the use of that hand. If the shoulders are stacked, maybe left arm goes up, maybe you open up the chest as though embracing the sky. Look down, hands back to the floor, or back to blocks, and blocks out to the side, press back, downward facing dog. This time right leg lifts straight up and back, knee and toes point down, hips at an even height. Hands push down and forward, hips lift up and back, JUN-08-2020, kneecaps lifted. Look to the top of your mat and lunge your left foot forward between your hands. Hands on fingertips, fists or blocks. Melt the hips down and forward, right thigh parallels the floor, lift through the back, inner upper thigh. Scissor the legs together, square the hips, strengthen the legs, shoulders away from the ears. In your low lunge, arrive here. Notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling. Again, acknowledge that as many times as you've done this pose, it doesn't stagnate. It does not offer the same experience as it did last time you were here or any other time you were here. Okay, hips back, ground through the left big toe, lift into the left kneecap, JUN-08-2020, both legs. Again, strengthen up that back leg, even though it's behind you, even though you might not see it, think about that back leg. All the parts of the body working together here as you fold over the left leg, pull back through the left hip, lift into the right kneecap. Then inhale to your lunge and move through these two shapes with your own breath. So you can move on the exhale, move on the inhale, or you might take additional breaths in each shape. Take this opportunity to explore your body, and again, consider the your body's reaction to these shapes, and consider if there's a request for more time in one of the shapes. Are you taking requests from your body at this moment? Okay, inhale back to your lunge, and left hand to the block or to the floor. Again, right hand's going to come to the hip. Scissor the legs together and start to revolve your chest towards the left wall. Left ribs towards the right inner thigh, using the strength of the abdomen to revolve around that central channel. Again, resist this desire you might have to use the strength of the hand against the thigh. That's not a bad way to do it. It's just not how we're doing it today. Arm to the sky. Open up further if you'd like. Let go of what you think you know. Hand back to the block, blocks out to the side, press back, downward facing dog. Reacquaint with your dog. And let's inhale forward to plank. Shoulders forward to the wrists. Exhale, lower down, low plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, roll over the toes. Push the chest up. Exhale, roll over the toes. Back to the low plank. Inhale, press up. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. 4 more, find modifications. Do what you can do, don't do what you can't do. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, curl up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 2. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 3. 2 more. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 4. Last one, best one. I'm right here with you. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up, curl up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, hips go back. Downward facing dog. Again, let's inhale to lift the left leg. Look to the top of your mat. Exhale, lunge your left foot forward. We won't be here long. We're going to come up into the high lunge. Square the hips, scissor the legs, hands to hips, elbows to the ceiling. Draw back through the sides of the waistline, hips and chest squared forward, arms back, palms forward. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, open the chest left. Inhale, center. Exhale, open left. Inhale, center. Exhale, open left, 3. Inhale, center. Exhale, open left, 4. Inhale, center. Exhale, open left, 5. Use the strength of the abdomen to revolve the ribs, the chest, the shoulders from right to left. Either choose to stay here, left hand to the outside of the right thigh, right arm along the right ear. Stay deeply bent in the lunge, weight in the left heel, weight in the right foot. Curl back. Soften the edges of the face for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Unwind, hands frame the front foot. Step back, downward facing dog, second side. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, look to the top of your mat. Lunge the right foot forward. Hands frame the front foot. Melt the right thigh parallel to the floor. Lift through the back inner upper thigh. Hands to hips, elbows to the ceiling. Draw back through the sides of the waistline. Come on up. Square the hips and chest forward. Arms at your side. Shoulders roll back. Palms forward. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, open right. Inhale, forward. Exhale, open right 2. Inhale, forward. Exhale, open right 3. Inhale, forward. Exhale, open right 4. Inhale, forward. Last one, exhale, open right and hold. Hips low, weight in the right heel, lift the back inner thigh, left ribs towards the right. And then hand to the thigh if you'd like, left arm over the left ear. Reach up out of your left waistline, lean back. Breathe, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands frame the front foot. Step back. Downward facing dog. Whew. We're working it. Look to the top. Look to the top of your mat. Shift your shoulders forward a little bit. Lift through the sides of your waistline. Lift up onto your toes. Bend your knees. As you exhale next, arrive silently with control at the top of your mat. Okay. That's one. Step or hop back. Bend the knees, lift the toes, draw back through the sides of the waistline, look forward, shift your weight forward, ground through the knuckles. Exhale. Top of your mat. Hop or step back. Bend the knees, lift the toes, draw back through the sides of the waistline, shift the shoulders forward, hips high, exhale. Arrive at the top of your mat. Okay. 2 more. Bend the knees, lift the toes, draw back through the sides of the waistline, shift the shoulders forward, look forward, exhale. Top of the mat. Last one, best one. Hop or step back. Whew. Bend the knees, lift the sides of the waistline, shift the shoulders forward, look forward, exhale. Arrive at the top of your mat. Place your feet hip width distance apart. Lift and spread your toes. Bend your knees, rest your torso on your thighs. Let your upper body hang forward. Take hold of opposite wrists, opposite forearms, or opposite biceps. Let it all hang down. Shift side to side. As you like. Recognizing tension held in the back body. Okay, and again, this idea that we look for those areas in our body through our practices where we need attention, where things are out of balance, where maybe a disproportionate burden has been played on one part of your body, and now we're looking to help that part of the body, looking to alleviate tension there, keep movement of energy through those spaces. So again, my idea this morning of this shame, when we see something that makes us uncomfortable, whether that be on our mats or off our mats, perhaps we might see a reaction of shame or fear or guilt, and that might make us shy away from it. That might make us
look away from the problem. But in our practice, we are trying to cultivate the courage and the strength to look at what is happening. What is happening in our bodies? What is happening in the microcosm? What is happening in the macrocosm? With hopes to move into the future with positive change, the deeper sense of connection with ourselves and with everything and everyone around us. That's a lot for a forward fold. Okay, hands to thighs. Inhale, chin and chest forward, shoulder blades on the back. Exhale and fold deeply in, fingertips back to the floor. Feet push down, hips lift high, Janu Bandha, kneecaps lift. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale and fold in. Last one. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Hands to hips, elbows towards the ceiling, shoulder blades on the back. Push down through your feet. Rise to stand. Arrive in your Tadasana. Become your mountain. Feet ground into the floor, rising from the earth, rising as the earth, growing tall, growing broad, palms forward, shoulders back. Become your mountain. Cultivate the qualities of your mountain. Strength, stability, return to your breath. Then consider yourself, your being, as a conduit of prana, as a conduit of vital energy. We are listening to the body, looking for those places where that energy is blocked. Physically, emotionally, mentally. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, possibly look up as your palms touch. Exhale, gently bend your knees as you flow forward. Fingertips to the floor, release the head. Inhale, lift halfway, shoulder blades on the back. Exhale, fold in, head low, hips high. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. Again, inhale, arms lift. Move with your breath. Exhale, flow forward. Synchronize breath and movement. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, rise triumphantly up, hands overhead. Exhale, back to your mountain. One more time, eyes open or closed with my breath or with my count or with your breath. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. Roll the shoulders back. Bring the feet to touch, base of the big toes together, or take a block at its lowest setting between your thighs. Ground through your heels, grow tall once again. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, interlace your fingers, cross your thumbs, index fingers to the sky. Grow tall. Inhale, exhale, upper body to the left. Remember, left side first. I remembered. Look up, reach the gaze towards the ceiling beyond the right tricep muscles. Use the breath to target the right side body. Create strength, create length from the right heel grounding through the right fingertips reaching. If this is feeling painful in your low back, please bring a hand to your left hip to alleviate that pain. Inhale back to center. Arms overhead, switch the interlace of your fingers, grow tall. Inhale, exhale, upper body now to the right. Hips shift to the left, engage the legs, push the heels down, use the right hand to pull the left side body longer. Take the gaze up beyond the left tricep muscles. If there is pain in the low back, we're trying to solve problems, not create them here. So if there is pain in the low back, bring the right hand to the right hip. Look up. Soften the edges of the mouth, relax the jaw. Inhale back to center. Choose to keep the hands overhead or interlace the fingers behind the back for your back bend. Ground through the heels, lift into the hips, lift into the heart, tilt the gaze up. If the arms are overhead, take the arms back. If the hands are interlaced at the low back, reach your knuckles down, collarbones broad. Look up, reach back, ground from the hips to the heels, engage the legs for a stable base, and then start to curl back. And I know you all want to hear it. Curl back into the unknown. As you're ready, hips up, chest up, arms up, head comes up last. Release your arms to your sides. Shoulders roll forward, up and back. Get some fluidity there with the movement. And then the other direction. Arms at your sides, inhale, arms up. Gingerly bend your knees as you flow forward, fingertips to the floor in front of you. Release your head down, and then walk out your forward fold, alleviating any of that residual tension in the low back as the upper body hangs down, as you target the low back, the outer hips, the backs of the legs. Okay, bend the knees, lift up onto the toes, lift the heels, sit the hips to the heels, bend the knees forward. If it feels okay for the knees, do that once. Do it twice. And do it a third time. Come on back up to your forward fold. Walk your hands back by your feet. Bring palms to the floor, fingertips to the floor, hands onto blocks. Get your hands grounded. Push down through your feet, lift into your hips, lift into your kneecaps. Lengthen along the back of your body as you hug your belly towards your thighs, face towards the legs, shoulders up away from the ears. If you'd like, you can tuck your hands underneath your heels. If your feet are together, your pinky fingers may touch side by side, opening up the back of your body as you fold in. Push down through the feet, lift into the kneecaps, lift into the hips, extend the crown of the head towards the floor. And then untuck the fingertips. If you've tucked them, palms to shins, shoulder blades on the back, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. Okay, we're gonna sit in our chair. So I was thinking about this. I've taken issue, just in jest, I've taken issue with this pose called awkward chair. So I've kind of renamed it fierce chair, and I was thinking that, maybe part of the fierceness of this pose is just how awkward it is. So we're getting into this awkward shape to kind of connect with our power. So get awkward, get awkward, get fierce. Not mutually exclusive. Lift and spread your toes. Take your arms out in front of you. Reach out for your fingertips. Make your arms long and then plug your arms deeply into your shoulder sockets. Keep your arms plugged in and then start to sweep your arms up by your ears. Ground through the heels, reach through the fingertips, find that strength at your center, lower ribs in and back. And then from here, either squeeze the block between your thighs or squeeze your ankles and knees together as you sit the hips back, weight in the heels, upper body back, knees together, get fierce, get awkward, stand back up. That's one. We're going to do 4 more. Exhale, upper body upright, waistline back, weight in the heels, knees and ankles together. Inhale, stand. Exhale, take your seat. Soften the mouth, maybe look up. stand up. 2 more. Exhale to lower. Inhale to stand. Last one, awkwardest one, fiercest one. Sit down. Stand up. Exhale, arms to your sides. Okay, grab your invisible hula hoop. Do your miming. Bring it around your body. Send it off. Get your arms up. You don't want your hula hoop to fall. Let's be a little bit silly here. Get out of your comfort zone by being a little silly. Okay. Grab this hula hoop. Send it in the other direction. I love invisible hula hooping. I hope you all enjoy it too. Okay, take your hula hoop, lift it up, place it down gently, or throw it across the room. It's not gonna hurt anything. That's the beauty of the invisible hula hoop. Okay, turn your knees and toes out, hands to hips, thrust your collarbones back, lengthen the tailbone down, lower ribs in and back. Point your knees in the direction of your toes as you bend your knees. Sink the hips down, adjust the stance as necessary to situate the heels under the hips. Lengthen the tailbone, draw the upper body back. Extension through the inner thighs, contraction through the outer hips. Arms up like football goalpost. Arms overhead, inhale, exhale. Left arm underneath the right, Lift the elbows up, forearms away from the face. Left arm underneath the right for today, or grab shoulders, or grab shoulders or wrist. Lengthen the tailbone down, upper body back, extension through the inner thighs, contraction through the outer hips, weight in the heels for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's take a break, lengthen the legs, sweep the arms overhead, inhale, exhale, right arm underneath the left. Elbows lift, forearms away from the face. Exhale, sink the hips down. Extension through the inner thighs, contraction through the outer hips, out, upper body back, elbows lift, forearms away from the face. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, stand up. Arms overhead, arms to the sides. Whew. Heel toe your feet back together. Okay. How far? Man, threw my invisible hula hoop all across the room. Okay. Just kidding. I just set it down there. Okay, put it on, spin it out. Okay, send it in the opposite direction. Takes a little time to be silly, so let's just take a little time to be a little silly. Okay. Wide-legged forward fold. Okay, take your feet wide apart, heels to the back edges of your mat, outer edge of the feet parallel to the short ends of your mat. Have your blocks handy. Turn your toes in just slightly. Tone up the muscles of your legs. Pull on those tight stockings, Janu Bandha, knee lock, hands to hips, elbows towards the back, collarbones broad. Look up, chin up. Lengthen along the front of your torso. Exhale. Torso parallel to the floor. Plant your wrists below your shoulders, press your thigh bones back, lift your kneecaps up, and then exhale, fold it in, hands walk back. Okay, this is the place where I'm confronting. So I notice I get down here, if my head is not on the floor, I automatically walk my feet farther apart. It's like my head has been on the floor, my head needs to be on the floor. Guess what? The practice is always changing. So the head may not be where it was before. Work from where you are. It's the only place you have to work from. And again, this idea of detachment from outcome. Maybe we can learn from the practice changing. And as the practice is not always going to change in a predictable or linear fashion. Again, this idea that there are a myriad of factors. So many things influencing your body on the mat today. Okay, bring your head to ground, whether that be the mat, a blanket, a block, a whole tower of blocks. Connect with your back body as you take this introspective pose, this folding into yourself pose. Notice what you're feeling, this attention to the back body. Is there an emotional component that you might notice? Is there a reaction to this experience of waking up, of opening the back body? Slow, deep breath, soft face. If you have the desire, the impulse to come up into headstand, follow that. Follow that instinct in your practice. Okay, walk your hands back below your shoulders, halfway lift, hands to hips, elbows to the ceiling, draw back through the sides of the waistline, come on up. Okay, one more time, grab that invisible hula hoop, put it on, spin it around. Oh, I'm gonna spin around the other direction. Notice my tendency to do one direction. Notice your tendencies. And spin it the other direction. Okay, what do we got? We got to do some inverting today. I've been a little bit neglectful of our inversion practice, and I love inverting, so let's do it. I hope you enjoy it too. So I'm going to continue with the handstand practice. If you would prefer headstand, do that. If you would prefer just a prolonged downward facing dog, or if you would prefer a rest at this point. Yeah, give yourself some, make this a safe space for yourself. Give yourself some, what do you call that, agency in your practice. Okay, so as I said, let's continue with the handstand practice. So I like to start the handstand practice with an L at the wall, which means finding an uninterrupted wall space. Probably not glass if you're not a, if you don't do this a lot. But an uninterrupted wall space. Extend your legs out in front of you with your feet against the wall. So you're going to measure the distance of your legs from the wall. So take your hands to where your hips are, and then turn around to face away from the wall, and then place your hands where your hips were. So you're in a short tabletop with your hips, your butt facing the wall, your chest facing away from the wall. Now, with the hands grounding, lift the hips up, push them up and back into a short down dog with the heels at the wall. Look to the space between your hands, ground through the knuckles, spread the fingers, ground through the fingerprints. Draw your shoulders away from your ears to secure your shoulder blades together behind your heart. As you look to the space between your hands, start to walk your feet up the wall. Likely you'll end up in a position that's more like a plank at the wall. From there, walk your feet down, get awkward, get fierce, heels to the height of your hips, body and in an L shape at a 90-degree angle. Hips over shoulders, shoulders over wrists. Gaze between the hands. This is probably hard. Maybe not, but it's hard for me. And it's a lot of weight bearing in the upper body. It's even a little more hard to hold than a handstand, I would say. But the advantage here is when your arms feel like they're gonna buckle from beneath you, you can just walk your feet down and you have like kind of a safer exit from that shape. So build strength there, build confidence there, and then we will build upon that strength and confidence to kick up to the wall. So either work there in the L at the wall shape or turn your body to the wall. Fingertips about a foot from the wall if you're just starting out. If you are if you're getting pretty comfortable with kicking up to the wall, I would suggest starting to walk your pose further from the wall to start to distance yourself from that dependence on the wall. Ground through the knuckles, lift into the wrist, gaze between the hands, lift up into a short down dog. Walk the hips forward so the shoulders are more over the wrists. Ground through the knuckles, look between the hands, lift your left leg up. Keep your gaze between your hands, and then hop with your right foot off of the floor. Left leg lifts, higher. Maybe you kick to the wall, come down, second side, left foot grounds, right leg lifts, hop. Maybe it just looks like, maybe you're just getting like 2 inches of air. That's where it starts. Gotta start somewhere. Gotta start from where you are. Okay. Kick up. If you want to try kicking up with 2 feet, it's kind of an extension of what we were doing, the hop forwards. Look between the hands, ground through the knuckles, bend the knees, lift through the sides of the waistline, both feet. Hop up. Okay, so, have some curiosity. Make a safe space for yourself to explore. It's okay to be awkward. Awkward builds fierceness. And when you have exploited your curiosity on that pose, bring your knees together, feet together, sink your hips to your heels. Press your hands down and forward to round your lower back. Get your hips really settled down. Then walk your upper body forward. Arms reach forward, head lowers towards or to the floor. And again, arrive in this posture of introspection, folding in. Again, once we fold in, there's this recognition, there's this attention to the back body. Experience the resonant energy of the posture you just practiced, whatever inverted shape it was. And consider that there is a resonant energy in this moment of the whole practice so far, your whole life so far, the entire universe thus far. Don't miss this moment. Okay, now the moment changes. Swing your arms back, palms up, shoulders forward. Slowly come all the way back up to seated. Okay, back bend. Let's start with a Virasana. Knees together, angle your shins apart, point your toes. And so if this can be This can be inaccessible in a couple of different ways for people. So if your ankles are really tight, you might need a blanket underneath your shins or some height underneath your shins to allow your toes to point back. Even more common is the hips need to be up on some padding as you sit between your heels. So make those things happen. Again, this idea of moving from where you are. Do what you can do, don't do what you can't do. Okay, so settle the hips down, lift along the spine. If you have a strap or a strap substitute, you might use it now. Right arm along the right ear, reach up, tap the base of the neck, right elbow to the ceiling. Left arm out to the left, palm faces back, and then grab the hands or grab the strap behind you. So this is cow Gomukhasana or cow face arms. Right elbow to the ceiling, hug the left shoulder blade gently onto the back of your chest. Right elbow up, left elbow down, inner thighs ground. Sits bones ground. Gaze soft. Noticing any places where tension builds in the face. And calming those areas. I'd like to a little addendum to this shape. If you'd like, lean your left ear towards your left shoulder. I've just discovered this is something that targets the right shoulder, the right trapezius muscles in a way that nothing else does for me. So if you like that, you can stay there. You can rock your head forward and back. Okay, head back to center, release the hands. Left arm to the ceiling, with or without the strap. Tap the base of the neck, left elbow towards the ceiling, right arm out to the right, palm faces back. Bend the right elbow, reach for fingertips or strap. Left elbow towards the ceiling, right shoulder blade hugs to the back of the chest, lower ribs in and back, inner thighs down. Soften the face. So I'm just thinking about, I didn't invent it, but I often bring attention back to the face because that's a place where our, we react and we build tension in our faces, and how we bring attention to this tension in our class. And it's kind of this way of just creating more awareness about what our reactions are, so that we might temper those reactions, let go of what does not serve us in our purposes. Release the right, oh my gosh, I bet you guys are thinking, I didn't do it. I didn't do left first. I'm sorry, it's just too late to go back. But I remembered. Head forward and back. I'm not going to have shame about it. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. But good to remember. Keep trying. Okay, release, head back to center, hands released. Come forward of your knees to come out of Virasana. And I'm feeling that we are going to do camel today. So point the toes back, stand up on your knees. Let's start with the fingers interlaced at the back. So lengthen the tailbone down. With the knuckles at the low spine, you can encourage that sacral spine to lengthen down as the front of the pelvis tilts up. Shoulder blades on the back, collarbones broad, elbows in towards one another. Tilt the gaze up, lift through the chin, and exhale, heart up, knuckles down. Inhale, heart up, exhale, curl back. If it feels okay, release the head back. Open up the throat, open up the front body. And then come back, leading with the chest, releasing the hands, shoulders forward, head comes up last. Knees together, feet together. Take a seat on the heels. Eyes soft or closed. Settle down through the seat. Stay tall along the spine, neutralizing. Reconnect with your breath. Feel the resonant energy of that posture. Don't miss this. Again, up, into a kneeling position, point the toes back, hands in the back pockets this time, lengthen the tailbone down, lift through the front of the pelvis, roll the shoulders back, gaze up, chin up, look towards the ceiling, look along the ceiling towards the back wall, keeping the heart high, spine long. The longer the spine, the more space you have to curl back into the unknown. Hands to the heels, fingers inside, thumbs outside, shoulder blades on the back. Sit in your discomfort, feel a little awkward. Cultivate your fierceness through these awkward moments. Hands to hips. Come on back up. Knees together, feet together. Sink your hips to your heels, shoulder blades on the back. Neutralize the spine, lengthen through the sacral spine. Broaden across the chest, chin parallel to the floor. Return to your breath. What to say? You want more? Okay, come back up. And next pose, next opportunity. So either as we've done, interlace the fingers, hands to the heels, or we're going to go back with a little less support, building on the strength and the courage that we've cultivated so far. Into the unknown. Lengthen down through the tailbone, lift through your heart, right arm along the right ear, lift up out of the right waistline. Grow tall, exhale, keep the knees grounded. Curl back, look back, curl back, look back, curl back, look back, touch down, come back up. Whew. Second side, oh my gosh, so hard to remember. Left arm was supposed to be first. Lengthen down through your tailbone, lift up out of your left waistline, grow tall. Exhale, curl back. Look back, curl back, look back, curl back, look back, curl back. Come back up. Arm down. So I start to lose my intention, lose my way, forget things. Gotta keep remembering. Tailbone down, heart lifts, chest lifts. Are you doing this with me? It's an adventure, isn't it? Okay, gaze back, arms back, gaze back. Arms back, gaze back. Oh! Come back up. Okay, fun with camel that's enough of fun with camel. But let's again take that seated neutralizing spine position, rock pose. Hands to the thighs, tailbone down, collarbones back, crown of the head lifted. Again, another moment to reflect on the experience of the last shape through this shape, how that energy resounds in this moment, in this posture. Great name for this pose, rock pose. Okay, swing your legs forward, come to lie on your back. Extend your legs out, lie in a reclined mountain pose. Tone the legs, broaden the collarbones, turn the palms up. Right foot to the floor, left knee in and up towards the chest. Interlace the fingers around the front of the right knee. Or the left knee, I'm sorry. Old habits, die hard. Left leg to the ceiling, reach up through the heel, pull back through the toes, interlace your fingers, press your thigh into the interlace of your fingers. Either choose to stay here or extend the right leg straight, neutralizing, lengthening that low spine. And then release the interlace, bring your left leg over to the right, a smidge. And then bring the left leg back to the right, meeting with the resistance of the right hand. Widen the left outer hip away from the left armpit. You can even use your left thumb to push that left hip crease away to get more stretch in the outer hip. JUN-08-2020, kneecaps lift, push through the feet. And then left leg back to center, left foot back to the floor. Right knee into the chest, interlace the fingers around the right thigh, pull the knee in and up towards the right armpit, squeeze it, and then extend the right leg straight, interlace the fingers, push the thigh into the hands, pull the hands down to the earth, drawing the hip deeply into the hip socket, push up through the sole of the feet, pull back through the toes, tone the muscles around the right knee. JUN-08-2020, left leg can stay as it is or extend straight. Calf down, heel down, thigh down. Unlace the hands. Angle the right leg over to the left, bring the left hand to the outside of the right thigh, widen the right leg to the right as meeting with the resistance of the left hand. You can use the right thumb to the right hip crease to push the right hip away. Continue to breathe again. Notice that tendency to build tension in the face. So where are we blocking energy? Where are we tensing up? Where are we resisting? Where are we resisting the movement, the change, the opening? Okay, right leg back to center. Feet to the floor, lift the feet up, cup the knees with the hands. Shift the knees side to side, massage the back, the low back. If you'd like to make circles with the knees, feel free. Again, empower your practice. Let this be a safe space for exploration, for awkwardness. The way I said that word was awkward. Okay. Bring your knees in and up towards your armpits. Grab the outside edges of your feet Shins perpendicular to the floor, soles of the feet open to the ceiling. Rock side to side. Happy little baby. Okay, feet together. Interlace the fingers. Widen out through the knees. Extension through the inner thighs. Contraction through the outer hips. Lengthen down through the tailbone. Push your feet into the interlace of your fingers. Let the heads of your arm bones be pulled up away from the floor. Release, and now it's time. Give yourself a big hug. Show yourself some love. Grab wrists, forearms, or elbows. Hug knees into chest, and then curl up into a tight little ball. Again, curl into yourself. Introspection, chin to chest, forehead towards the knees. Squeeze the legs, round the spine. In whatever words you have, tell yourself that you love yourself. Love the microcosm, love the macrocosm. And extend out through your legs, arms at your sides. Take the time to gather any objects of comfort, of support for your savasana. If you have an eye pillow, this might be a nice time to place an eye pillow over your eyes. This might be a time to put on clothing or get your blankie. Get your blankie out. Why don't adults have blankies? I think adults do have blankies. We just don't admit it. Get your blankie. And set yourself up for comfort, for support, for another opportunity to turn the gaze inward, even though we're now expressing a more open position with the body. So that's something to think about in this shape. So maybe we've now moved beyond this looking inward. We've done the work, and perhaps at this moment there is an opportunity to plug into that idea of the interconnectivity, this cycle of energy, this movement of prana that is moving through all of us, between all of us. So for now, you might consider putting down the burden of this body. Set down the burden of the emotions, the thoughts. The word that resonates for me in these moments is peaceful. If you have time and you would like to stay in your Savasana, please do so. If you are ready to begin to come out, start by reanimating fingers and toes. Reawakening the limbs, perhaps rocking the arms, the legs, and the head side to side. Maybe a big stretch, arms overhead. As you're ready, bend your knees, feet to the floor, right arm along your right ear, and roll onto your right side. Corpse pose to child's pose. Reconnect with your breath. Keep your eyes closed and push your way back to a seated position. Root through the legs and hips. Grow tall along your spine. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Let us join together in the sound of Om one single time. Exhale. And inhale for Om. Thank you for your presence, your patience, your introspection, your reflection throughout today's practice. The light in me recognizes and bows to the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you, guys. I love Monday mornings. This is something that I look forward to. It really puts me in a good headspace for calling my mom, which I'm going to do now. I love my mom. It just makes it that much better to talk to her. So let me know if you guys have any comments, questions, reflections of your own that you would like to share with me. I'd love to hear your feedback. So the outdoor class is on hold for now for a number of reasons. I would like to see some of you in person if that's possible. Maybe we could do some sort of less rigorous outdoor hangout or meditation. If anybody is interested in that, please get in touch. A student made a good point about about how much I talk during class and how I'm respirating a heck of a whole lot, and that is kind of risky. Risky behavior over respiration. So anyway, stay in touch. You can write on the message board, although as many of you have noticed, I don't actually see it until the end of class. Text me, email, Athens Public. You can get in touch with me on Facebook or Instagram. Email or I'll tell you, email or texting or calling is really what I prefer. So, love you guys. Thank you so much. Please join me tomorrow morning for another variation of this sequence. And have a good day. Be awkward, be fierce. That's my words of wisdom for today.